Hi guys, in this episode of the Nostalgia Trip, I'm gonna be continuing with my reactions to one of my favorite shows ever, Ghost Whisperer, with Season 1, Episode 11, Shadow Boxer, and Episode 12, Undead Comic. And I gotta be honest, based on the two names of these two episodes, they don't really seem like they're gonna be that exciting. And I don't really think there's gonna be much of a gimmick with these episodes, with the ghost of these episodes. I guess we're gonna find out once we get into it, but yeah, I just have the feeling that this is gonna be kind of like middle of the season filler episodes kind of thing. Because last two episodes kind of felt like that as well. Like, I'm expecting that these two episodes are gonna be very much like what we had in the last two episodes, which weren't necessarily bad or anything. I still enjoyed them. It's just that they had weaker aspects to them, or at least like didn't entertain me quite enough. But yeah, we'll see how I'm gonna feel about these episodes. Hopefully I'm gonna enjoy them. But before we get into the reaction, there is a thing that I have to address, presumably, depending on whether you guys who are watching this video are new to the channel or you just haven't seen me like this. Basically, for those of you who don't know, I am trans. I am male at birth, but I do want to transition to being female, if possible, at some point in the future, whenever I have the means and whenever I could possibly move to a country that is not a backwards, transphobic and homophobic shithole like mine. And I'm also wearing a wig, because my actual hair is not this long, and I feel like this is pretty obviously a wig, but I've just been feeling dysphoric, so that's kind of why I decided to wear it. And you will probably see me in most of the Ghost Whisperer videos going forward with this hair, depending if I feel like, if there are some times where I don't feel like wearing it, because it is sometimes a little annoying, but yeah, hopefully that won't bother you. And I guess also I should remind you that you can get a full-on version of these reactions over on my Patreon or my Ko-fi account, where by subscribing to the specific tier I've created for it, you get access to all of my full-length reactions. But whether you want to do that or not is completely up to you, so feel free to just stick with the YouTube reactions as well. Because at the end of the day, I will probably make more money off of this than off the Patreon in the long run. I'm surprised that more people haven't watched the reactions though, I gotta say. Because there is literally no other reactions to Ghost Whisperers on YouTube as far as I can see. And I'm really surprised that nobody else has capitalized on it and nobody else is looking for the show. Like, is it that forgotten? I think it's probably in the long run gonna get a decent amount of views, but it is just more of a slow burn. Once people start looking for it, like in a 1 year's time or something, they'll see that somebody has reacted to it and they've done pretty good videos, and hopefully then I'll get a lot of people watching it. But yeah, enough with the chit chat. Without further ado, let's get into the first episode of the bunch, episode 11, Shadow Boxer, in 3, 2, 1.
That's what I taught him. Never to call a grown up by the first name unless given permission.
Just one thing though, you think you could take a dive in the 8th? Because I got a couple $100 in Callahan.
You made a bad bet, my friend.
Take a dive. My son would never do such a thing.
It was a joke.
No, it's not a joke. I gotta cover all my bases.
How can Melinda speak like that whenever she's among people? Like, I get such second-hand embarrassment from it.
Hey, Tree, thanks again.
What is that in?
My Spanish is a little rusty.
But can you see me? Something terrible has happened to my family.
Help me save them. I'm afraid they will kill each other.
Who are you talking about?
You have to help me.
With what?
My husband. He was always with my son, always watching over him, protecting him. And now they're not even talking to each other, and I don't know why.
Do you know when they stopped talking to each other? Was it before you died?
I don't remember. All the medicine that they gave me made me so foggy.
Do you remember your name?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, my name is Estela de la Costa.
Estella, let me be honest. I think this is a domestic problem between two living...
Melinda, there's somebody in the
And
shop.
they work it out
Fucking
themselves.
turn
That's what I
around.
do.
So then what do you do?
I help people cross over.
I cannot even think about crossover before I know what happened to them.
Look, I'm sorry. Family disputes are none of my business. This is something you need to make peace with. And
It's not a family dispute. It's not that simple. It can't be. They just love each other so much.
Oh, hi. Plain pizza? Oh, you don't like anything on it at all?
I'm purist.
You, Mr. Gourmet Cook, and you have naked pizza that is just indecent.
As soon as you put meat and fish and pineapple on a pizza, it's not pizza anymore. It's Franken pizza. It's unnatural. And actually, it's
Man,
insulting to the
the non-binary urge to look like both of them. I'm really feeling it right now.
You need help. I'm begging you to get help for that whole thing.
I met someone interesting today.
Should I be jealous? A living person. Oh, right, of course not. How could that be interesting?
Teo's mother.
No kidding.
No.
Know anything about the family at all?
Not really. Well, his dad used to train him at that gym, but he hasn't been around for a long time.
Well, apparently he hasn't talked to his dad in a long time, and his mom doesn't know why.
Hey, I think one of your anchovies is violating the airspace of my perfectly laid pizza.
Embrace the anchovy. Embrace it. Come on, do it.
You need help.
You know you want to.
You think I
I'll
need
embrace it. This is me, embracing it. Ooh, it's alive.
Help? Ow, Peter.
Man, they're so cute! Man, this fourth season is so fucking cool. I love it.
Even if you're afraid, you should never show it. If you let your opponent sense your fear, then you're done. First question.
Yeah, that's an advice that you really should remember, Melinda, considering some of the enemies you're gonna face off in the show.
Dale and my husband, they moved away in a tournament when I died.
So I guess he's not Jim's partner.
I saw him win. That is the last thing I remember.
How did you meet?
Cuba. I was walking across the town square in Havana with my friend Miguel, and I saw her walking toward me.
He took my picture before we even met.
You took a picture before you even met.
With that old-fashioned camera.
Yes.
It was the last moment you two didn't know each other.
I don't understand.
Look, the reason I know your wife, how I know her, is that I can see her. It's a gift I have.
Stella's here?
Yes.
She hasn't passed over yet, and she wants to talk to you.
I knew it in my bones that if I had faith that she'd come back. Is she okay? No more suffering?
No, not from sickness. From something else, though. She's confused.
Why
I can. It's interesting how he just buys it.
She wants to know.
I guess that is kind of the gimmick of this episode. Yeah, I guess maybe
You tell her.
You can tell her.
the
She's standing right in front of you.
the person who has to deal with the ghost is who the ghost is related to is a religious person, I guess.
What did she ask you to do?
That's between us. Excuse me, Miss Gordon, I gotta go.
Oh yeah, just a normal thing. I learned that ghosts are real,
What did you ask
and
her
I'm
to
just
do?
gonna continue with the rest of my day.
I wish I knew.
For me, if I actually found out a confirmation that ghosts or anything supernatural is real, it would genuinely change my life completely. Where is Grandview located?
Make a lot of money.
What state?
Look,
Because I don't know why, but by looking at it, like the scenery that we get, for whatever reason, I get a Georgia vibe from it. Ouch.
I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Practicing at home? What kind of thing? An urban vigilante? Well, I don't have big, strong gems.
Funny you mentioned that. She met with the fucking Green Arrow in a couple of episodes ago. Or at least Green Arrow's friend. Although John Diggle was the Green Arrow for a time.
I'm Tio's father. Nice to meet you. We met several years ago, Mr. Mangione. I came to talk to him, not you.
Whatever you want to say to me, you can say to Mr. Majors.
No, I can't.
Son, I know
No, he can't.
we don't see eye to eye, but you're smarter than this. This man's not your friend.
I can take care of myself, Pop.
Mr. Della Costa, I assure you, I just want what's best for you.
You want what's best for you.
Well, that's Teo's decision, isn't it?
Mr. Majors thinks I'm ready to go pro. So do I.
Son, you were heading towards the Olympics. I mean, we're this close.
We both know what happened with that, don't we, Pop?
Your mother wanted that for you.
Who are you to talk to me about my mother? How do you know what she wanted? Anyway, she's gone. All that matters now is what I want.
Don't you see that?
Well, even if she's dead, her wishes should still matter to you. She's your fucking
I
mom.
have to listen to you. Nothing more.
I really don't understand what happened between them.
Look at me, boy. She was your mother, but she was my wife. And I wasn't with her either.
Please, don't do this to each other.
He's really hurting.
What is so hard about people just talking to each other? Talk. Listen.
Tell me about it.
Listen.
Was it ever that simple for you and your parents?
Okay. We had the talking part down pretty good.
Yeah, well,
There's something else though.
kind of. Like,
Waiting for me.
I can talk to my parents about a lot of things. Not about
Unravel.
this.
I'm not really sure it should be unraveled.
But that doesn't mean that they're like despicable human beings who hate me or whatever.
Funny you should ask.
And whatever issue I might have, I would talk to them, you know? Whatever issue there is between us, I would always want to fix it. Like, I don't like having unfinished business in any way, shape, or form, let alone between me and somebody else.
Wasn't your dad training you for the Olympics?
Why does everyone want to talk about my father? He's dead to me.
Oh, I know what you mean. My dad's dead to me, too.
What, you mean?
Yeah. Dead.
Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean worry.
Okay, that was a good joke.
We weren't really speaking at the end.
Why not?
I don't know. Didn't like who I was. Or who I became, I guess.
Come on, you're kidding, right?
No. He wanted my brother and me to go into his brokerage business. One of these huge Wall Street companies. A lot of people with very nice shoes. And
Well, that explains why his mom wanted a different
pressure was really on me
husband.
to step up and, take my place in the family dynasty. What do? I become a paramedic. A civil servant.
It's a great job. What are you talking about?
I was never happier, but he was never more miserable.
So what happened?
He cut me off, I cut him off. That's what men do, right? You don't need me. Watch me not need you. Thing is, somehow you always think it'll get sorted out. You always think there's time. Anyhow, that's just me. I'm sure you guys have plenty of time.
I never get that. If I ever get into a situation like that, at the very least, I would just not talk about said thing with my parent. Because with my dad, we argue a lot. Especially this year with a lot of the events in the world, we argue a lot. And at this point, we've just decided not to talk about said things so we don't end up hating each other, you know?
Wonderful dinner under pressure. I'll see you in an hour.
So you either sort out whatever your issue is,
Closing time.
or stop talking about it between each other, about the thing that makes you both angry.
Didn't your mother teach you how to cook?
I'm already stressed out. Please do not bring up my mother.
Mommy issues.
Oh, wow, that is really good. I can't believe I made it myself.
You don't really get that much mommy issues in TV, I feel like, even in this day and age.
A lesson you should apply to the other parts of your life.
Theo,
Nice house.
just don't take too close a look at the plumbing, the wiring, or the roof.
Yeah, it's kind of still half built
Linda?
for whatever reason. So why did he agree to come to this dinner?
This tastes just like my wife's. It's almost as if she's here. Is she?
What's going on?
Theo.
You rigged this whole thing, didn't you?
No, I did.
Yeah, pretty obviously, yeah.
You told her how she always said grace, the exact words she said.
Mateo, I promise you, I didn't say a thing.
No, it's true. He didn't say anything to me. But
Yeah.
The truth is your mom's here. And that's why I invited you to dinner, because I can see her, I can talk to her.
You're lying. My mother's dead. He put you up to this because he's trying to get me to do what he wants.
No, that's not the case. How do you want me to us to prove it to you?
Theo?
I know you have my photo in your Bible.
You have a picture of her in your Bible.
What is this? What are you doing?
All I want is peace between you and your father.
She just wants you and your father to be at peace.
It's through me. Your mother's here. I can feel her. You gotta sense her too.
I always feel her.
You can't hate me forever. She doesn't want that.
I don't hate you, Papi. But I can't forgive you for taking me away from her.
What do you mean? Is it genuinely that? Because I think he just said she died alone. So he blames him for making him focus on the Olympics and not being on the bedside of his mom's death.
No, unless she told me.
She would have wrapped me in band-aids if I would have let her. Mend it out. But I couldn't protect her. I wasn't there when she died. I'll never forgive him for that.
It's not his fault, and you couldn't have done anything.
Everyone makes mistakes, even your parents.
She's saying that no one is infallible.
Please, Mommy. Stop making excuses for him. He took me away. He made me go to that tournament. I didn't want to go, but he insisted. I didn't want to leave you.
She's saying she doesn't remember?
Yes.
It's because you told me to.
Listen, after you knock this guy out, I got some papers for you to sign. First class plane ticket to Miami.
Maybe don't sign things when you get fucking knocked out. You get a lot of brain damage from it.
Won't take long.
My will is in the safety deposit box, along with the birth certificates and our marriage license.
You're not gonna die, okay? Stop talking to me.
You must do as I say. This is going to happen.
Man, it must be really hard
But soon
having to
enough,
deal with your own mortality and knowing when or how long you have left.
and you
I would go insane if I had to go through that, honestly.
She needs you to forgive her.
Of course I forgive her.
But you wouldn't forgive your dad.
Forgive your father. He was only doing what she asked him to.
All this time, Papi? You let me think it was you? I thought you were putting the Olympics ahead of her. Why didn't you say something?
It was easier for you to be mad at me than at her. I didn't think you would understand, son.
And he probably wouldn't have wanted to listen to you anyway, nor what he have believed, because
to be a family.
wouldn't it come off really fucking bad to blame your dead wife for something that your son blames you for?
Be a family. Bella knows that she took your chance to say goodbye away. She wants to fix it now.
I was hoping.
Man, I like
Your
him.
life's so beautiful. I hope you find love again.
I will never forget you, Stella.
Aww.
I will raise our son, and everything I'll do like if you're watching.
This is so wholesome. I love it. It went from kind of annoying to really wholesome. I love that. So, yeah, this is definitely not the most interesting episode that we've had so far. It's definitely on the lower side in terms of enjoyment as well, and how entertaining the story of the episode is, because the family feud kind of thing, especially when we didn't know why they were acting the way they were acting, was really frustrating to watch. And I really don't like when shows do that. Like, give me the information so I can have an educated opinion on the matter, because otherwise it just makes it very annoying to me, and it makes me angry at the characters for behaving so irrationally. Because I'm a very logical person. Sure, I get emotional, and I get influenced by emotion too, but when push comes to shove, I am a very logical person. And it bothers me when I see people who are not logical like that. Because, like, in a situation like that, without knowing what happened exactly, I would just talk to my dad and try to work it out in some way. But I can't say necessarily that if I was in his situation, I wouldn't be angry at my dad for the same thing, you know? Like, once you learn their motives and everything, it makes sense why they act the way they are. It is kind of a misunderstanding at the end of the day. A lot of these are misunderstandings. But yeah, it is annoying when they don't give you the whole thing. At least the way it was done in this episode. And yeah, there isn't even much to talk about in regards to this episode. I feel like I also had less to react to than usual, so there was that as well. But I didn't hate it or anything. There were still moments that I enjoyed, but ultimately the most entertaining moments of the episode were the interactions between Melinda and Andrea, and Melinda and Jim, and the ending here, which was very wholesome, and I really enjoyed that about it. But overall, it was just at the end of the day, there wasn't anything particularly entertaining. The ghost wasn't an interesting ghost to me. So there was that as well. There wasn't that much of a gimmick with the ghost, so that also brought it down a little bit. But hopefully we're gonna get some kind of a gimmick for the next episode. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of rating though, for this one, I think I'm going to go with a little bit of a lower score of 7.3 out of 10. I don't remember how I rated previous episodes because it has been a little bit since I watched this show. It's been like a couple of weeks, but that's where I'll put this one. It was decent, I enjoyed it, but I don't really have much of an urge to rewatch it. But yeah, we still have one more episode to go through for this episode, that being episode 12, Undead Comics. So without further ado, let's get into that episode in 3, 2, 1. Okay, this one is starting off with a little bit more appealing vibes, although it might just be the rain, because I love me some rain.
No, I can't do it.
Yes, you can. You're gonna be fine when you get out there.
I won't. I am a coward. I don't know how I missed that.
Will you stop it? You are the bravest woman I know. Now take a deep breath. A better one.
Now let's go out there.
What are you afraid of?
Welcome to the comedy cave.
Oh, she's gonna do stand-up comedy.
Alright, settle down.
Can I just say how much I fucking hate stand-up comedy?
Open the mic tonight. I have a little announcement to make. After 28 long years,
I really hate, or at least I really hate the personalities of stand-up comedians. They're so fucking egotistical, so proud of themselves. They think they're so much above everybody. They think they're the fucking modern philosophers of this world. And yes, I am talking about douchebags like Dave Chappelle. I hate that asshole.
some of the biggest comics in the business today.
And I hate people like him. It seems like most stand-up comedians are self-righteous, self-aggrandizing douchebags like that.
It's okay, just keep drinking. I'll figure it out. How many people would be willing to testify he set his own hand on fire?
Why are you in the women's
I
bathroom?
went out for a walk.
Melinda? Is the coast clear?
Yeah!
No.
Not anymore! Why the fuck was he in the fucking women's bathroom and covered in shit?
You know, Melinda thinks the club is haunted.
Oh, I did not.
haunted. It's a very strong word.
Yes, it is. Haunted.
Really?
That's what people say. Monday nights, the club is closed. And our cleaning guy swears that they come in, they rearrange the tables, and they do their own show. But I'm no fool. Being haunted, very good for business. All right, girl.
Well, I don't know if it is for a fucking stand-up comedy place. Maybe for a haunted house.
Why? She's a character, isn't she?
So are you.
Hey, have you seen my keys? I swear I put them up here on the desk.
We should franchise.
Okay, now that's just being an asshole.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that was ghost related.
That's not funny.
I wasn't joking.
Not you, him. You are messing with the wrong person, pal.
Can't we just ignore this guy and maybe he'll go away?
It's always my first plan. It never works.
Well, where did he come from?
My guess is he's attached to one of these things at the comedy club. He was in my house last night, rearranged my furniture.
Really? How did it look?
Not bad, except for the armchair balancing on the coffee table.
So, how do we get rid of this joker?
I guess he'll eventually get bored and show me.
Get yourself a Batman. Why is that place in the darkest alleyway possible? And also, why is Melinda wearing such magnificent outfits this episode? Like, that dress code thing looks beautiful. Yeah, go into the dark place in the dark alley. Not creepy at all. So as I was saying earlier, it's funny how when I was a kid I had such stage fright, and yes, in this day and age I'm doing this. But to be honest, it's very different when you just record stuff to post it on the internet. Surprisingly, most people actually don't give a shit. And those that do can get fucked anyway. Like, most people don't give a shit if you do something wrong or you do something stupid.
All new people. So I fired. What are you kidding me? I don't need to take that kind of crap from a
Wait,
therapist.
why is this guy so familiar?
I mean, really, that's what we paid for, right? Subsidized denial. But you know,
I want to see who that is. His
I mean,
name.
let's face it, we're all gonna die. Oh yeah, sure we are. Yeah.
It's hard to say.
I mean, he's a very creepy looking
I
ghost.
remember feeling hopeful, but also something really bad.
I think it's the water
When I see spirits,
aesthetic of him that creeps me the fuck out,
So what do you
because
say?
I don't know if I
Look
mentioned
at
this
that as I
before,
feel.
but I've been traumatized by the Ring movie.
It usually
Like,
means
I was traumatized for years because of Samara, so anything that looks remotely similar
So what do
just
I
freaks
do?
me the fuck out.
Oh, you're in the wrong place now.
And the black eyes don't help.
You need to cross over.
Oh yeah, my agent said the same thing, but I never needed to appeal to everyone.
I meant cross over to the other side.
Look, this all feels like a really big mistake. Okay? Now, I have to find out what happened to me.
Man, he looks so creepy. I definitely know what's gonna be the thumbnail for this one. If you ask me, it looks like he fucking drowned in a toilet.
Marty hasn't really come around today, but Francie said when he disappeared, his friend Sandra took it the hardest. Sandra Holloway, have you seen her?
Yeah, she was on Letterman a couple weeks ago. She's funny.
She's performing at the Comedy Cave next weekend. You want to go?
Yeah, and I'll spring for that one.
No, no need. We're practically rolling in it.
Look, how much money exactly are we talking about?
Thinking of having it framed.
Oh, wow.
Check the comma, where the decimal point usually goes.
Wow. I'm proud of you. I give it up.
Yeah, well.
How is that business so profitable? No offense, but who goes to antique shops?
The dude was a man.
Even back in 2005.
Man freeze. You know? You look better.
Why, thank you. I've been dieting.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What happens once you start to interact with this world?
Man, I'm starting to realize how much of that personality I also have. Because literally, I try to make jokes all the fucking time IRL. like be sarcastic and be
Sandra.
I don't know, like jokey like that all the time.
Yeah,
I guess that's why I do YouTube, you know? Everybody who can be a stand-up comedian just does YouTube.
Let's just say
Because
we
it's all about
understood each other
jokes on
very
this
well.
platform.
Here's to you, baby.
Yep, that's definitely where he died. Man, I like this guy. He's kind of interesting. The actor, I guess, is really good if he's managed to entertain me this much. It does seem like at least one of the episodes of the two that we're checking out will be good, no matter what.
This is where it happened. This is where I killed myself.
Oh shit. Well, I kind of thought that was probably where it was gonna go.
I felt so alive. I felt everything. I couldn't help but appreciate the irony, you know? All this time and effort to try and feel nothing, to make myself numb, but in those last seconds, I felt it all. Realized
Ouch.
I loved it.
Man, the lighting in this episode is really
Couldn't
fucking
believe
good.
was
I
about
really
to
like it.
Feel nothing ever again. My heart broke into 100 pieces before the water ever stopped it.
I don't think it was the water that kills you,
And,
bro. I think it was the height.
9.5, 9.6, and from the French judge, he gives old Marty a 7.5.
Why did you do this to yourself?
I don't know.
Well, I guess you're gonna find out.
You don't suppose I can undo it, do you?
Sadly,
I
no.
wish we all could, but we only get one shot.
That should cover it, think?
I think.
Yeah, yes. Please box it up for me. I'll have someone come by and pick it up.
Sandra Holloway bought it all?
Yes.
Yeah. She was really interested in the Marty Golden items.
She
Here,
was in love
that's
with
so
him.
useful. One on each table.
Maybe he was too, but for whatever reason they weren't together. I don't know.
Sandra anyway.
It does come off like kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of love.
She knows it. First time Sandra came in here, she was like a deer in the headlights.
You know, I thought you were gonna be happy for me.
We won't make it, Sandy. We'll never last that long apart.
If this were happening to you, I would be cheering for you.
No, you wouldn't. You would be afraid that I would never come back.
I have to do this. It's my shot, and I have to take it.
It sounds to me like you already made up your mind.
Well, look, I'm not leaving you. I'm just going away.
That's leaving him though, in a way.
No.
Just the thought of Sandra gone so long, and knowing that she'd be over there with the best, while I was stuck here, you know, the guy who doesn't test well.
How come nobody knows what happened to you?
Now that is a fitting coda for my life. Failed comedian makes dramatic exit, but nobody notices.
Everybody noticed, Marty. You broke their hearts.
I loved you like my son.
Okay, please, just you ask her to stop. I can't take it.
Is he still there?
Yes. And he knows that you're right.
And do you know what you did to Sandra? You shouldn't be here crying to me. You need to let her know that this was not her fault.
I mean, it kind of was. Like, I wouldn't blame her for him killing himself, because at the end of the day, he had control over his own life and he had the right to kill himself if he wanted to. But her decision to move to Europe created this situation in the first place. So she's indirectly the cause of it. And both of them weren't really willing to listen to each other about this situation. So again, she is a little tiny bit at fault.
Well, he didn't kill himself because I went on tour. He killed himself because I wouldn't go on tour.
What? And also, how would you just assume that? We still don't know technically whether he's dead or not. He's just gone. At least that's what I was under the impression of.
Except the one guy I needed to hear it from most. I started second guessing myself. Maybe Marty was right. Maybe we couldn't survive the separation. I didn't want to lose him. Marty was struggling. He needed me more than ever. And I'd have other chances, other breaks. But would I ever have someone to love as much? So
I mean, you can never know for either of those things.
And when I told him, I thought that he'd be happy or at least relieved. But instead, he just seemed defeated, like he had taken something from me. I'll never forget how tight he held me. It was the last time I ever saw him. I would tell him how stupid what he did was.
Yeah,
I've been living
he
with
thinks
this
so.
for 2 years, feeling responsible, like I took something from the world. It's not your fault. You think I don't know that? But I feel it. My heart is wrecked, Marty.
I'm sorry.
He's sorry. Not as sorry as I am.
No, I'm sorrier. Okay. Ask her how she knew I jumped off the bridge.
He wants to know how you knew about the bridge. Now I know you're lying. Marty would know the answer to that question. What am I doing here?
There's a lot that Marty doesn't remember. He's just trying to put the pieces together.
Marty pulled me off that bridge a long time ago.
Huh.
He saved me when I was at rock bottom. After that, whenever either one of us did anything bad or needed to be forgiven, we would go to that bridge and wait for the other. Why did you do it, Marty? I love you too so much. Why did you leave me?
I mean, you already know because he wanted to let you go. Let you be free.
Oh. What if I get happy and I'm not funny anymore? He doesn't think that that's going to be an issue.
There's always other places you can pull inspiration from.
I'll be watching tonight, baby.
Aww.
Well, no one's ever come back to complain. Let's leave it at that.
Well, maybe that just means that they cannot come back through the fucking light. What if on the other side of the light, it's a dimension of hell? How can we know that that's not the case? After finishing watching Fullmetal Alchemist 2003, anything can be on the other side of that fucking light.
Dying is easy. It's the comedy that's hard.
Again, the visuals are really good. Oh, it's this piece of shit! And this piece of shit!
I have business with you.
Ha! I guess it was about time that we would get them. Or at least the guy with the hat and the mask. Okay. Now I'm really excited for the next couple of episodes because of that development right here. But yeah, this was definitely a much more entertaining episode compared to the previous one. It was less frustrating to watch, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't really have necessarily bad things to say about this episode, but in general I feel like I did not have as much to react to in this episode as well. Definitely was kind of entertaining seeing this jokester ghost. Like, he definitely made some snarky comments that were funny and I enjoyed it, but at the end of the day, still definitely is not like my favorite episode or anything, but I did really enjoy the ghost of this one. It usually depends on how entertaining the ghost is, how good an episode is going to be, and it was honestly overall pretty good. Like, I liked the ghost. I still feel like the story could have been a little bit more interesting, and I feel like there wasn't enough twists and turns in this one, but there were definitely aspects in which I enjoyed this episode that I haven't other episodes until this point. Like I said, for the visuals, like the lighting in this episode and the visuals were actually really fucking good in my opinion. I really enjoyed that about this episode, but yeah, really good ghost. Really excited for where the development is going to go going forward with the review of this Black Mask guy, because I know that he is the villain of Season 1, that's what I remember. I don't quite remember how we deal with him or whatever, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, although it does feel a little weird to introduce your villain, like, halfway through the season. But I guess it is the first season, so they had to establish a status quo for how Melinda deals with ghosts and everything, and what the formula of the show is before we get any, like, overarching villains and shit. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely enjoyed this episode, but we've had better. That's what I would say at the end of the day. But I'm definitely excited for the next two episodes, especially because also the names of the next two episodes sound really entertaining. Like Friendly Neighborhood Ghost and Last Execution seems really exciting. Even the two episodes after that also sound really exciting, and I'm hopefully going to be able to react to all of those 4 episodes today, but we'll see about that. So yeah, before we end this video though, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 1 patron on Patreon, Deadpool. Thank you for your support, I really appreciate it, it really means a lot to me. If you have decided to support me, you have continued to support me for such a long time, hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things, like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way, and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything, and that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Coffee account, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think that's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!